学生被人包养。
More and more female college students are being kept as mistresses. Even more girls are choosing to become escorts. Did you see the news about the police arresting these women? In 3 months, one of them had 600 clients. She charged $3,000 to $5,000 per session, with the highest being $8,000. What does this indicate? It shows that more and more girls are pursuing material enjoyment and financial independence. They think this way is quick money. With money, they feel they can buy anything. But it seems they're using the wrong method. The changing values in society are causing some people's views to shift, leaning more towards material pursuit and consumerism. However, as long as it isn't illegal, it's their freedom, and we have no right to interfere. Finally, I want to say that this is a repeated and countless story. It's not something I made up. Maybe you haven't encountered it, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
名牌包包首饰，在各大高档酒店打卡拍照，你们敢信吗？
More and more female college students are being kept by others. On the surface, they seem no different from rich and beautiful women, often wearing various brand name bags and jewelry, and taking photos at high-end hotels. Can you believe it? Their monthly living expenses start at least 20,000 yuan. Some even have wealthy benefactors who buy them houses and cars, reaching a level that ordinary people can't even dream of at a young age. After experiencing such a luxurious lifestyle, they often find an honest man to marry in a few years, and their married life remains comfortable. A beautiful classmate of mine told me that there are just too many wealthy men who want to support her. Yet she chose to date an ordinary boy of her age. I asked her why she didn't choose someone who could provide her with a high-end lifestyle. She smiled and replied that such relationships can easily distort your values. Her parents always told her that a girl can achieve success on her own and should never rely on a man. So she chose an average boyfriend, reasoning that as long as his character is good, it doesn't matter if he isn't rich. She is willing to work hard together with him. After listening to her, I felt immensely benefited and thought she made a lot of sense. There aren't many girls as clear-headed as her. I hope more girls can realize early on that relying on yourself is the most dependable thing. Relying on others will only make you particularly passive, and once they leave, you have nothing. If you were my classmate, what would you choose?
越来越多的女大学生被包养。
More and more female college students are being kept as mistresses. They have good figures and looks. With a bit of makeup and dressing up, they can easily become the epitome of the ideal woman. Their monthly living expenses start at least from 10,000 yuan, and they are decked out in brand names from head to toe. They travel to various high-end hotels and tourist spots. Their sugar daddies even buy them sports cars and villas. These girls in their early 20s enjoy a high-end lifestyle that their peers can only dream of. Maybe in a few years, these white, rich, and beautiful girls will choose to marry an honest or oblivious man. After marriage, they continue to enjoy such a lifestyle. If you're a girl, I don't know if this would shatter your values. Yesterday, I purposely visited a female friend of mine. We talked for 6 hours, and she shared an unbelievable story from her past. After her college entrance exams, her family went bankrupt. Her parents got divorced, and her mom attempted suicide with a kitchen knife. During that time, she was extremely worried. Her family had 3 houses which were all sold to pay off debts, yet they still owed tens of thousands. She almost couldn't afford college. She thought about dropping out to work, but her grades were good, and she was her parents' pride. Her mom was determined to see her finish college. She attended an art school, which had expensive tuition. Her mom borrowed over 10,000 yuan from many relatives to pay for her tuition. When she finally gathered enough money, she stood by the roadside and cried loudly. After starting college, she didn't receive a single call from her mom. She cried a lot at school. Many times she thought about finding someone to keep her. She even thought of sacrificing her freedom and dignity to pay off her family's debts and give her mom a better life. After all, wasn't it just selling her body? She started working outside. She was young then and took a job at a tea house in a tight Cheongsam. They earned commissions on high-end tea orders. With a base salary of 1,500 yuan plus commissions, it was the best pay she could imagine. She saved every penny. The tea house owner moved the business to a hotel, where a charming middle-aged woman frequently came to discuss business and chat with men. She often brought along a young girl to the elevator. Over time, she realized the woman was a madam. When business was slow, the madam would sit and chat with them. One day, a middle-aged man, a friend of the madam, visited. After he left, the madam called her over and told her the man liked her. He wanted to keep her as a mistress for a year, offering 200,000 yuan. She admitted she was tempted. In 2 years, she could pay off all her family's debts. Her mom wouldn't have to think about suicide, and her parents might even reconcile. Her inner balance was tipping. She struggled through the night, battling her conscience. Eventually, her moral purity won. The next day, she resigned from the tea house, citing family issues. Deep down, she knew if she stayed, she might make a decision she'd regret forever. Later, when she moved to Shanghai, she encountered men who promised her big houses if she stayed, but she refused. She said something that moved me to tears. She said, "The world is so big. If you don't earn something through your own efforts, how can you be sure it's truly sweet?" She didn't want to look back in old age with regret. She and her boyfriend paid off all the debts and eventually married. They are working hard to live a good life, feeling grateful and content. She is thankful she could resist temptations and stay true to herself. Before leaving, she asked me a thought-provoking question. "If it were you, what would you choose?" I thought for a while and told her, "I'd choose the same as you."
21岁的女大学生被包养3年，男人豪气地给她2100万的彩礼。
A 21-year-old college girl was kept as a mistress for 3 years. The man generously gave her a dowry of 21 million yuan, but her outcome was very tragic. At 23, Shan received a dowry from her boyfriend. To her surprise, it was an astronomical figure of 21 million yuan. For most people, this amount is a lifetime's worth of wealth that is hard to attain. Unexpectedly, she got it effortlessly, but the price was being kept as a mistress for 3 years. It seemed like a very lucrative deal. However, the next day, Shan happily took the check to the bank, hoping to cash in her fortune. To her shock, this visit shattered her dream completely. The staff told her that the check simply didn't exist. Shan immediately called the police. She explained to them that the check was her dowry from her boyfriend. Her boyfriend, Jia, pretended to be a wealthy heir and generously spent money, quickly winning Shan's heart. Shan then quit her job, and in her youthful 20s, willingly became his mistress. Through police investigation, it was found that Jia's so-called wealth was entirely fake. Not only did he have a wife and daughter, but he also had an unstable job. He survived by borrowing money from relatives and friends and by deceiving them. It was only then that Shan realized she had wasted 3 years of her youth. Her survival skills had almost dropped to zero, and she had to start over. This ending is deeply regrettable. We hope all girls can take this as a lesson. Pies don't fall from the sky, only traps do. What do you think about this?
In today's China, more and more women are pursuing economic and personal independence. But reality is often disappointing. Coming out of the passionate slogans into the embarrassing reality, you will see more women living like vines, or longing to live like vines. In a safe, non-judgmental environment where people can look directly into their hearts, ask a woman, "Dear, there's an entrepreneur/boss/group CEO who likes you. He wants to be with you, is willing to give you 50,000 yuan a month, rent a high-end apartment for you, and you don't have to work. You can do what you like. Would you agree?" If asked in public, she would definitely say, no. However, in real life, the majority's choice might not be no. In 2012, a sugar dating website appeared in the United States. It's called Seeking Arrangement. Upon launch, the registered users quickly exceeded 1 million and even topped the app download charts. Its founder said, "Love is a concept invented by the poor. Love at first sight is a shivering fairy tale, illusory and short-lived." He also said that women making sugar arrangements with wealthy men is more honest, open, and transparent than seeking and offering through love. Even his own sister sought sugar daddies on this site. He found it normal. Setting aside morals, rationally, it's just a supply and demand relationship. The founders values destined Seeking Arrangement to be an unseemly dating site. Here, the key to matching men and women is money. Upon registering, men would state their income and proposed allowance, like 1 million yuan per year. Women would state their height, weight, measurements, talents, and whether they were virgins, and also their allowance expectations, like 500,000 yuan per year. If both agree on the allowance, they are matched. Yes, the site doesn't look at whether your values align, personality match, shared hobbies, similar backgrounds, or education. Not even if you find each other attractive. It's all about the money. If I accept your offer and you accept my price, we are a pair. Men become sugar daddies. Women become sugar babies. They might even call each other daddy and daughter. After matching, they meet in real life. As for the content of these meetings, it's quite obvious. Afterwards, the daddy fulfills the daughter's material needs. In return, the daughter offers certain services whenever called upon. In 2015, Seeking Arrangement got a Chinese version, though later the site, app, and services all got taken down. The company also couldn't be traced. I won't elaborate much on this. It's worth mentioning that both the American and Chinese versions of SA have a strange phenomenon. That is, the number of female members far exceeds male members. On the American SA site, female members outnumber males 10 to 1. On the Chinese SA site, 80% of members are female. Most of these female members are students. Why? Why do girls more easily accept transactional relationships? Why do highly educated women still pursue quick money? Why do those from prestigious backgrounds still succumb to tangible temptations? You could say it's due to societal reasons, such as economic crises, high tuition, living costs, few job opportunities, and the huge investment of time and energy. Girls are too tired and too poor, so they take this path. But I think it's more cultural. In a gray reality where right and wrong are blurred, you'll see wealthy men all have mistresses. People care more about she is rich than she is kept. Under such standards, many girls use their looks to survive. And after being kept, they don't believe, I'm being kept. They think, I just have a rich boyfriend. They have 1,000 reasons to rationalize their transactions and a million ways to enjoy envy and jealousy. Society's tolerance for prostitution and their own acceptance weaken the moral pressure of sugar arrangements. People are lazy. Young girls are even more so. I once thought most young women were ambitious, but after leading a team, I found it's not so. 80% of girls hate hard work, competition, KPIs, performance, stress. They just want the highest return for the least effort. They want it easy, quick money, a lot without worry. Best if it's unearned, being pampered. So, being a mistress, kept woman, secret escort became their best choices. Love and marriage fell from the altar. Love is no longer sacred. To many, a one-night stand times time equals love. Marriage is no longer necessary. Marriage rates decline, divorce rates rise, infidelity soars, hookup apps dominate, all showing marriage's diminished importance. And money became the focus for busy, poor folks. How should we respond to SA and similar things? I want to share two phrases. One is from the movie Love, when the heroine chooses self-reliance over being a rich man's companion. I don't accept being kept, I only accept love. Another from a millionaire female entrepreneur. When standing at the school gate, she replied to an older man, I believe at your age, I'll be wealthier. But if I accept your sugar arrangement today, that day will never come. So, girls, don't miss out on an era while in bed.